Today's topic is 10 essential channels for model railroaders, and I have quite a list. You can subscribe to my channel, of course, that's cool, but what I really hope is that you watch these videos and subscribe to each of these incredible creators. I'm not going in any particular order, and first up is a channel called It's My Railroad. This is a really fun channel that talks about everything that's involved with owning your own layout, from construction to dismantling and starting over again, which is something a lot of us have done. And what I find really interesting is that the tips and techniques are on a variety of different things, from scenery to track work to operations. The videos are fun, they're well produced, the content is great, highly recommend it. The channel is called It's My Railroad.
Every time I come out in the hobby room, I look at this scene and I go, well, that looks good, baby. Anyway, it's my railroad, and that's what I think.
I hope a lot of you already know Kathy Millett. She is an amazing modeler from the UK. And you know, she does railroad stuff, but she does so much more, does a lot of military, does a lot of sci-fi. So for model railroaders, you kind of have to open your mind a little bit with Kathy and start looking at the details of what she's doing. Because no matter what she's modeling, there's something there you can learn and take home to your layout. One of my favorite videos is called Ultra Realistic Grass Diorama Memories of the Lake District. I love this video. I've watched it 3 or 4 times. It is so in-depth, working in different styles of grass and different layers of soil and color tones and textures with stone and blending the right of way into the scenery. I mean, it's just a genius little piece of modeling and something that I think honestly could be the most helpful model railroading scenery video that I have ever seen online. Kathy Millett, definitely worth a subscribe.
The scene was complete when I put all of the wagons, engine and people in place.
My good friend Tom Radis is an incredible modeler focused on something really unique, the Western and Atlantic Railroad in Georgia during the Civil War. Tom's layout is spectacular, has every detail right, and Tom has started doing a Zoom call with some of his friends who are great modelers, talking about different aspects of Civil War modeling. They get into a lot of details that, again, just like Kathy's stuff, apply to anyone. It doesn't matter if you're doing the Civil War or not. One great video is around taking a Bachmann 440 and turning it into the world-famous General. The General is probably one of the most well-known locomotives in the world, right up there with the Flying Scotsman. And as you watch the video, I mean, it's kind of incredible to think, because the Bachmann 440 looks nothing like the General when it comes out of the box. But by the time you see the work that Tom's friends have done, wow. This is a new channel. Only has 195 subscribers right now. Get in on the ground floor, subscribe to Tom. I know he's got great things coming, really unique modeling, and fantastic tips. One of my favorite channels is Norm's Trains by Norm Charbonneau. His modeling is pretty unique. It's something called 3-rail scale. It's O-scale trains, just like the old school Lionel with the 3-rail track, but these trains aren't toy-like or out of proportion. All of Norm's modeling is exactly to O-scale. So the locomotives, the buildings, the scenery, the freight cars, the figures, they all look perfectly in scale with each other. And Norm has this kind of like just crazy ability to visually weather structures and trains and build this forests and fields in a way that it feels like it all belongs together. It's got one of the most cohesive looks that I've ever seen in a layout. And I've only seen it on video. I hope someday to get to see it in person. I just am absolutely blown away by this layout. Now, the great thing about Norm's Trains, the YouTube channel, is not only do you get to see Norm's layout, but Norm will do a lot of work on his locomotives, and he shows you everything from how he's doing detailing to weathering to 3D printing new parts to taking apart the electronics, upgrading the sound, upgrading motors, you name it. I used to do a little bit of 3-rail scale, but I never really got into modifying the locomotives. After watching some of Norm's videos, if I ever get back to 3-rail, I'm definitely going to do it, and I'm definitely going to take his advice. So if you want to get some good DIY tips and see some absolutely stunning modeling in 3-rail scale, which is something you might not have seen before, check out Norm's Trains. That is a channel worth a subscribe. just like Kathy Malat's channel has a lot of content that's not directly about model railroading, but certainly applies. The same is true of a channel called Night Shift by a gentleman named Martin in Eastern Europe. Martin is an incredible military modeler, but everything he does applies to model railroading. One of the videos that just blew me away is about carving a farmhouse out of a block of styrofoam. He uses nothing but a block of styrofoam, knives and paint, weathering tools, weathering powders. It's an amazing process to watch on video, how he turns a block of foam into a gorgeous model. Everything that Martin is doing is something you should be thinking about for your own model railroad layout. Night Shift is a channel you need to subscribe to and watch. Like a lot of people, I'm a sucker for a good unboxing video, but I really only like to watch trains get unboxed. Model trains, of course. One of the great American unboxing channels is Eric's Trains. Eric has a beautiful 3-rail O-scale layout, and he buys a lot of trains. I don't know if he sees it as an investment or what, but he is always buying the latest Lionel, Atlas, MTH, and he does great unboxing videos where he shows you everything about the locomotives, the different features, what's been upgraded from previous runs, and then he takes them out for a spin on his layout. Really great photography. It's a really nice layout. These are fun videos, but if you're into O-scale, there's some serious good learning here. So think about that. For all you 3-railers out there, you may know him already. Eric's Trains, definitely a channel worth checking out. One of the channels that got me through the really dark days at the beginning of the COVID pandemic is Sam's Trains.
Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here. Welcome back to the railway and welcome to another review.
But the thing about Sam's videos is that they are, in my mind, the prototype for how to do an unboxing video. He starts with the packaging, and I don't just mean the packaging that the model comes in, but even what was the model mailed in? Did the manufacturer take the time to really pack it nicely? And then how is its box and interior packing? What comes with the locomotive? Extra parts? How about the instruction sheet? Is it detailed? Is it good? Sam then takes the locomotives apart, shows us the motor, the drivetrain, the bearings, how the model is built, and then goes through close-up, detailed assessments of the model, not just in terms of accuracy, but in terms of quality of assembly, quality of paint. Are there mold lines? Are there glue marks? Are there fingerprints from the factory, which unfortunately seem to happen more often than any of us would want to think. And then he takes the locomotives out onto his main line, which is kind of neat because it's on the floor of what appears to be his attic. And he'll put the locomotive through paces straight out of the box, and then he'll do a break-in run for 30 minutes or so, and then put the locomotive through the paces again to see if anything has changed. He'll do tests about how well it does on grades, on curves, how much it can pull, and then he sorts this all out into a rating for the locomotive that gives you an overall idea of whether or not it's actually worth the money. I love his videos. They are extremely consistent, extremely good. Even if you're not into British trains, I think you're going to enjoy these. Sam's Trains is a channel that I think is a winner and definitely worth checking out. Give him a subscribe. See what you think. One of my favorites is a mouthful. Ready for this name? SDJR7F88. That's the channel name. I think it refers to a Somerset and Dorset joint railway locomotive. Anyway, this is another great British channel loaded with videos of high quality layouts, but also a lot of how-tos. The creator who runs the channel is building his own layout. He takes you through the questions he's asking himself about what to put in and how he does it, how he executes it. He also does some really interesting videos of new models synced to prototype sounds. Also does World War I modeling, and I'm doing some of this myself right now. I'm working on a World War I layout, kind of a French-Belgian theme late in the war. And he's got tremendous models, both 00 standard gauge and the 009 narrow gauge, the WDLR, the War Department light rail. Really unique modeling. And when I watch this channel, I just get uplifted. I just feel like I'm going to up my game the next time I sit down at my workbench. It just makes me feel good. It's a fun channel to watch. And if you can remember the name, it's well worth subscribing to. SDJR7F88 is a winner. There's a really spectacular channel called Pilentum. I think that's how you pronounce it. Pilentum. It features great model railroads from around the world. And I've seen one or two of these layouts in person myself. There's a great video on the Lehigh and Keystone Valley layout in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Really beautiful layout, and the video shows it off very well. The thing about this channel is, get ready to sit back in your chair and hang out. These are long, in-depth videos, but they are beautiful. They're expertly shot. And again, just like the SDJR 7F88 channel, I just like saying that name. But just like that channel, I get inspired by this channel. So, grab a beer, a coffee, whatever your favorite drink is. Prepare to spend a little time with this, but the Pilentum channel is a winner in my book, and one that you should definitely be subscribing to and checking out all of their new and old videos. The last video on the list is Peter Pernsteiner's wonderful unboxing videos. His videos are fantastic. They're not all in English, so get ready to hit the closed captioning and read along, but they are so good. He's very thorough in his reviews. And one of the things that I think is really cool, especially because he does a lot of European large scale, like what we would think of in America as G scale. What's happening in Europe with model trains is a little bit different than here. There's a lot of different things going on with the electronics, with animation, with just the way that the models operate and run, and all the kinds of, pardon the pun, bells and whistles. So one of the things I like about Peter's channel is it inspires me for things that I might want to do to upgrade my own equipment. So whether you're interested in modeling Switzerland, Germany, Austria, etc., or you just want to see really what top-notch, out-of-the-box model trains look like, Peter's channel is a great way to spend a little time engaging with the hobby and maybe learning something you didn't know. And if nothing else, the models are outstanding. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. You will love them. I think Peter is worth a subscribe. And that wraps up 10 essential YouTube channels for model railroaders. Now, I am sure that there are channels you love that I did not include in this. So tell me about them in the comments. And I'm definitely going to do a part 2, part 3, part 4 on this topic. And the whole WTCH series is going to continue, helping to show you the best of the best content on YouTube. And remember, this isn't about my channel. This is about those channels and subscribing to those creators. Show them some love. Enjoy YouTube even more when you're watching the best of the best content. I'm Robert John Davis. Thank you for tuning in, and don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.